All right, hello everybody. So today I'm going to speak about colors. So the problem with traditional design software is that sometimes it's difficult to create a deck with a big number of cards and a system where you have colors by categories or certain type of cards that must be color coded in certain way. Like say, for example, my own deck here, these are the AI Tinkers cards, and you can see that the task cards, they are pink, but the input cards, they are blue. But they share the same layout, as you can see. So if I want to change the title, I don't want to change the title on two different cards or on two different layouts or templates. And I'm not the only one. Obviously, it's a very common pattern. If you look at the deck from my friend Mehdi, you can see that, well, the connect cards are blue with a blue border, and you have another category of cards, which are the collect cards, which are methodologies for the collect part that have a green border, and you have the same for the yellow ones. This one is the choose category, etc., etc. So when you design your deck, you don't want to edit every single template to change a title because you have a different template for the yellow cards and the green cards. So this is something that is very easy to do with I Love Cards because you have features that solve that problem. And that's the color system inside I Love Cards that we're going to see right now. So right now I'm in a demo deck that is about core company values. And right now you can see that I have 4 categories of values. I have the stability values, I have the change values, I have the relationship values, and I have the task values. Right now it's using a template that is in black and white. And by the way, using a black and white or a tone of gray template when you design is a great way to prototype your deck without to take care of colors at first. So anyway, so I have this template, and if you look at a card, let me zoom a little bit. So this is a card, and you can see that what I would like to have is this part, the top section, to be color-coded by category. So if I'm in stability, I want to have a different color that if I am in change-oriented, okay, especially the color of the icon and the color of the title. But the bottom of the card here is a kind of branding area. So if I want to white label this card deck and produce a different card deck for each company, because when I run a value workshop, they can live with the cards, and it's a nice touch if the bottom of the card can be branded to the color of the company. So here, this part, the black area could be the brand color and of the company. So that's a nice, simple way to add this touch. So how are we going to do that in I Love Cards? Well, at first, we're going to create a brand new color palette. So let me show you how you do that. So I'm in my deck builder right now, and you can see that in the toolbar, I have this edit color button. So I click on it, and when you click on it, it opens the color palette library with all the color palettes that you have previously created or the public color palette. Right now, we're going to create a new one. So I click on Create New, and we're going to enter the name. So let's say that I'm going to create a color palette for my own Storms company. So Storms color palette. And you see that the color palette has different sections. And each one of the sections you assign values to color token. So for example, you have the brand color, the primary brand color. This is where you're going to put the primary brand color of the company. So for example, for Storms, I'm going to copy and paste the X value for Storms, and this is this kind of dark blue. And I won't be needed the secondary and accent. So I won't change them. For the category colors, so this is the one that you're going to use to differentiate the different cards, like I've shown in the two examples in the introduction. And the style of storms, let me show you. If you don't know storms, this is my website for the brainstorming platform, and you see that I have vibrant colors. So for the category colors, it's quite difficult, by the way, to find 9 different colors that are very different from each other. So I've done that for you, and I've given you different styles. You have the vibrant style, the dark style, and the pastel style, okay? So storms is obviously a little bit like vibrant, and I'm just gonna change the fourth category color, which is the blue one here, to have the blue storms, okay? And I'm gonna keep the neutral palette, color palette the same. I just need now to save it by clicking on this button at the bottom of the screen, Create Color Scheme. Et voilà. So as you can see, the color scheme Storms color palette has been created and it is selected. All right. So now it's active in the deck, but it doesn't show anywhere. Why? Well, because the template doesn't use any of the color palette except the black that we have defined. And by the way, I'm just going to save, hit save. Okay, so now I have saved the fact that when I click on Edit Color Palette, the active color palette for my deck is the Storms color palette. And by the way, you can assign only one color palette to your deck. All right, so now we're going to modify the template. And here is the key. When you design your template, you don't assign fixed color values. You assign color tokens. Let me show you. I'm not going to say, okay, for this brand color, for this background here on the back, I want blue. I won't say that. I will say, I want the brand color number 1 to be shown in the background of this footer. And that way, it's dynamic. So I'm going to click on the card to edit the template. It opens the toolbar, and here you have the button that enables you to edit the deck template. When I click on it, it opens the template editor. So you have some other tutorials if you want to learn how to create a template. Right now, we're going to focus on the colors. So, watch this. I'm gonna select the footer. This is called a section. You have a section here, you have a section here, and I can modify the relative size of the different sections like that. All right? And you see that here I have a background color. Okay? So I'm gonna map the background color to, so it opens a quick select menu, but I want you to open the more color. Here you have the color picker. And here you see that you have my brand colors. So I'm gonna select the brand color, and now it is selected. All right. So now we're gonna do the same for the name. So this will always show the brand color associated to the color palette. Now here, for diversity and for the background of the icon, we want to show the color of the category, okay? But we want to use only one template. So first, I'm going to select the title text. On the toolbar, I select the text color. And again, I'm going to open the color picker. And what I'm going to set it to is to this little, you see, this is the primary color, the rainbow icon in the color picker. It says pick the primary color. The primary color is a dynamic token that resolves to whatever primary color this card inherits from its settings in the deck. Boom. And right now, it seems it's red. We'll see that. I'm going to do the same with the icon. I click on it to select it, and I just need to change 2 colors. I'm going to set the background to be to the primary color. So you see, either I take the color picker and select here, or I can go directly and select it from here. And then the text color, I'm going to set the icon outline to this little thing here, which is high contrast. This token automatically chooses between black or white, depending on the primary color for it to have the maximum readability. All right, so let's save the template. All right, so you see that now I have my brand color on the back, and for all the cards, I have some red. Let me show you like that. I have some red. This is because if I go into assign template, you see that the default color for the deck is red. I could change it to blue, but again, all of them are blue. So what we want now is to map the primary color to each category. Each category needs its primary color value. So in the deck builder, I'm going to open the stability-oriented settings by clicking on it to select it first, and then on the edit button on the sidebar, and then I go into the template, and you see that right now it says this category is going to have the default card color, which is currently set to blue. So I'm going to move the switch so that now I can select a specific color for the category. And let's say that the specific color is going to be this dark blue. Okay. Done. Then I'm going to do the same for change, edit, template, same as deck, no, and change is going to be orange. And then again and again, I could do it that way, but there is a better way, a shortcut way. If you go into assign template, let me show you. You see the default color, the color for category stability, the color for change category, and I can do it that way much quicker. So relationship is going to be pink, and task oriented, it's going to be, I don't know, task oriented, it's going to be purple. All right. So you can see now, purple for task, pink for a relationship, orange for change, and blue for stability. All right, I'm going to save that. So I have used only one template, and for this one template, I'm able to deal with the different categories, but I'm also able to deal with the white labeling. Let me show you how easy it is to change stuff. So for example, let's say that I'm working in a new company, with a totally different color set. Well, I just have to edit colors, and maybe I have a different color set for this company. Boom. Now I have this dark blue background, and by the way, that's the color of the AI Tinkerers cards. So I could just say AI Tinkerers. Et voilà, I have my branding. And you see also that now I'm on a different type of color palette for the categories. It's the pastel colors for the categories. Also, let me show you a nice thing. When I'm in pastel, obviously the color is very light. So here, this icon outline is black because this is what gives the best contrast. Now, if I change and use a dark color palette, you see that the blue is dark, so the best contrast is with white. and it's automatically taken into account by the software, so that even if I have in the same, let's say, look here, in the storms color palette, the blue is very dark, so it picks a white, and here the orange is quite light and it picks a black. So you see that if you do your template the right way, which basically means that when you edit your template, you use primarily these dynamic colors, these two, here to pick the main color of the card and here to put the high contrast color. If you do your template the right way, you're going to use very little number of templates to make your deck, and you're going to save a lot of time. Now, just going to show you that if one specific card needs to be different, you can also override the color. So here you see that it's using the category color, which is orange. But let's say that this is the first card of the category and it needs to be very different. Well, I can use a custom color. So here I've picked the green, and this card has a different color. So this is how the color hierarchy works for primary colors. You can override at the card level. Here, this one is green. Or you can override at the category level because the category is orange. Or you can have no override. I can remove the override, and then it's going to have the default color of the deck that you can find here, default color of the deck. So this is how it works. You can have one template that works for all the categories. You can have brand colors that update across entire deck in just a second. You can have specific colors for one specific card or one category or at the deck level. It makes it very easy to edit and maintain a deck and to white label a deck. This system can really save you hours, and by the way, that's why I've created it for myself, for my own AI Tinkers cards. Now I can create a new card, create a new category, change a typo, a font in my deck in just one instant. It's incredibly fast. So that's the color system. Enjoy creating your cards in I Love Cards, and see you next time. Bye bye.